LeBron startled everyone by becoming the NBA's most despised player in 2010. After losing against Dirk, he turned cruel.
LeBron melted down the way we've never seen a superstar melt down in the history of sports.
LeBron made the decision to bulk up after being crushed, yet feeling more driven than ever. Additionally, he eliminated his game's two vulnerabilities with Hakeem's assistance. The events that followed were legendary. The King became the most efficient, most versatile, and most unguardable player in the league, leading Miami to 3 more finals and 2 NBA titles. With the passing ability of Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan's athleticism, both while weighing close to young Shaq, the Miami LeBron was a monster and is widely considered to be the best version of King James. So how good was LeBron in Miami? Actually, LeBron was arguably the most athletic player in the NBA already as a rookie, something that could only be said about Wilt and MJ. In 2003, when he got drafted, James weighed 235 pounds. But even though he had an NBA-ready body as an 18-year-old, it still took him a few years to build up his strength. In 2005, James tipped the scales at 250 pounds. But carrying that extra weight took its toll, as LeBron started experiencing knee and back pain, which was a problem considering he was only 21 years old. But then LeBron got introduced to Mike Mankus, a biomechanics expert who quickly became one of the most important people in his career. When James won his first MVP award in 2009, it appeared as though he was launched from a cannon with every fast break, and with every dunk, he leaped on an unseen trampoline. However, the Cavaliers could never manage to construct a proper roster around LeBron. In the 2009 playoffs, despite a monster 388-8 from James, Cleveland lost to Orlando in the Eastern Conference Finals. In 2010, James won another MVP, but the playoffs brought more disappointment with the Cavs losing to Boston in the second round of the playoffs. LeBron carried the Cavs for 7 years, and he took them as far as they could go.
And LeBron James' season is over. Is his career in Cleveland over?
The decision resulted in a widely reported split that led to a fire of LeBron jerseys throughout Ohio. However, from a basketball perspective, it made perfect sense, even though it wasn't a fantastic PR move. LeBron finally received the all-star support he required when he teamed up with Chris Bosh and Dwyane Wade, the teammates who were expected to assist him overcome the setback and secure his first title. However, things didn't go as well as everyone had hoped.
Down here to win championships. Not one, championships.
Not two.
LeBron, tell us about that.
Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7.
The Heat started the season 9-8 with LeBron famously body-checking Eric Spoelstra, showing that he didn't have faith in the young coach. James even went into Pat Riley's office demanding that Spo get fired and Riley take over the team. However, Riley had full faith in Spoelstra and he refused, which was a great decision. Miami regrouped, winning 20 out of their next 21 games and finished the season with 58 wins. And when the playoffs started, the Heat were dominant, easily beating Philadelphia in the first round. And in the second round, LeBron finally got revenge on his arch-nemesis, defeating Paul Pierce and the Celtics in 5 games.
James over Pierce.
Miami faced the number 1 seeded Chicago Bulls and league MVP Derrick Rose. But it didn't start off great for the Heat. The Bulls blew him out in Game 1, winning by 21, with LeBron scoring just 15 points on 5 for 15 shooting. But then Coach Spo made a crucial adjustment and had LeBron guarding Derrick Rose in the fourth quarter. Rose was the quickest and most athletic point guard in the NBA, but LeBron was quick enough to stay in front of him. With a 6-inch height difference and 50 extra pounds, James was able to stifle Rose, which completely neutralized Chicago's offense.
Have come from behind to defeat the Chicago Bulls.
Miami won the next 4 games and advanced to the NBA Finals, where they were heavy favorites against Dirk Nowitzki and the Mavericks. After taking a 2-1 lead in the series against the Mavs and holding a double-digit lead late in Game 4, the championship felt inevitable. But Dirk had other plans. Hitting one tough shot after another, the German almost single-handedly won Game 4, scoring the final 9 Mavericks points, including a game-winning layup over Chris Bosh. Still, Everyone believed that this was just a hiccup and that Miami would win because LeBron was widely considered to be the best player in the world. However, LeBron wasn't the best player in that series. He wasn't even top 3. For long stretches of the series, Dallas kept James in check by using the much smaller Jason Kidd as his primary defender.
Offensive foul. Great defense from the 38-year-old.
Partly because Tyson Chandler was able to help off the Heat's big men and was always waiting to cut off James' driving lanes. LeBron couldn't get into any kind of rhythm in isolation and was unable or unwilling to penetrate off the dribble and was forced to rely on a shaky jump shot. James finished Game 4 with a career-low 8 points and was completely passive in the fourth quarter. Then, in Game 5, it was more of the same. James was unbelievably passive in the fourth quarter, scoring just 2 points and 17 total for the game, shooting 8 for 19 from the field as Dallas took a 3-2 series lead. However, in Game 6, LeBron finally played better while Dirk struggled. Nowitzki started the game going 1 for 12 in the first half and 4 for 21 during the first 3.5 quarters. But thanks to Jason Terry and JJ Barea, the Mavs still held an 81-77 lead with 8 minutes left when the German superstar finally woke up. Dirk scored 10 points in the final 7 minutes, hitting 5 for 6 from the field to clinch the game and the championship for Dallas. And even though LeBron shot 9 for 15 from the field in Game 6, it was too little too late, and he finished the series as the 5th leading scorer. Across 6 games, James scored just 18 points in the fourth quarter, just 3 points per game in the deciding period, which gave birth to all kinds of memes, while all the LeBron haters, namely Skip Biss, gloated.
Games 4, 5, and 6 against the Dallas Mavericks disappeared, ran from the basketball. LeBron James was not born with a clutch gene.
LeBron was humiliated.
LeBron was humiliated. His legacy took a massive hit, and all the comparisons to Michael Jordan evaporated. From the lens of 2025, it's obvious that Dallas had a better and more functional roster with 4 shooters surrounding an all-NBA defensive center in Tyson Chandler. On the other hand, Miami had very little shooting, no bench, and with 2 big men clogging the paint, they couldn't drive to the basket. The Heat averaged just 92 points in the series, which is 13 points less than the worst NBA offense in the 2025 regular season. But still, there's no denying that LeBron played a bad series, and that he needed to improve his game.
One of the hardest times of my life. After the finals, I sat in my room for 2 weeks, did absolutely nothing, talked to absolutely nobody.
Was that the low point for you in your career?
Oh, for sure.
2011.
The lowest.
Yeah,
the lowest.
After 2 weeks of depression and not leaving his house, LeBron went to work. More determined than ever, James sought the help of Hakeem Olajuwon, arguably the best post scorer in NBA history, to add the final missing piece to his game. LeBron was bigger than any small forward and faster than any big man. But until he got exposed in the 2011 finals, he was never comfortable playing in the post with his back to the basket, instead drifting into tough pull-up shots from the perimeter. However, when the 2012 season started, James was a new player. When he returned after the lockout, he was a totally different player. It was as if he had downloaded a program with all of Elijah's and Elling's post-up moves. I don't know if I've ever seen a player improve that much in a specific area in one off-season. Erik Spoelstra. On top of his newly developed post-game, LeBron's finishing at the rim also improved, as he was now much more comfortable driving left and finishing with his left hand compared to his earlier years where he was almost exclusively driving right. LeBron added more muscle in the offseason and now weighed north of 270 pounds. Even though James himself never wanted to confirm his exact weight, but LeBron wasn't the only one who improved after the 2011 finals. The Heat's coach, Spoelstra, wasn't satisfied with his performance, so he spent the entire offseason figuring out how to unlock the full potential of his big 3. Spoelstra spent the summer watching film, and he sought advice from Chip Kelly, the celebrated football coach at the University of Oregon, and decided to implement Kelly's spread offense with the Miami Heat.
Spo is the reason why we were a better team, and our team was more assembled properly. That summer, he went to Oregon and hung out with Chip Kelly and learned the spread offense and tried to figure out if he could translate that to basketball.
The result was something that the NBA had never seen before. The Heat played without a classic point guard and center, with LeBron and Wade as primary ball handlers. Spo was the first coach to play positionless basketball, switching on defense with small ball lineups, With the addition of Shane Battier, a savvy 3-and-D specialist, Miami was a deeper and more versatile team than the year before. LeBron averaged 27 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists per game, shooting a career-high 53% from the field and 36% from the three during the regular season, dominantly winning the MVP award over Kevin Durant. In the playoffs, Miami easily got past Carmelo and the Knicks in the first round, but in the second round against the Pacers, they suffered a huge blow after Bosh got injured in Game 1 of the series. However, that proved to be a blessing in disguise because it forced Miami to fully embrace the pace and space basketball, which they used only sparingly in the regular season.
Even though Indiana jumped to a 2-1 lead after 3 games thanks to masterful play from LeBron and Wade, who averaged a combined 56 points in the series, Miami was able to win the next 3 games and advance to the ECF. But then, another roadblock and another potential disaster for LeBron and his legacy against the Boston Celtics, who played with 4 future Hall of Famers. Miami struggled, falling behind 3-2 in the series with Game 6 scheduled in Boston. With Bosh not fully recovered and Dwight struggling with his shot, Miami had only one hope: LeBron James. LeBron's haters were getting ready for another dose of insults, but what happened next was so spectacular that it shut everyone's mouths. LeBron played like a man possessed, scoring 30 points in the first half, hitting one impossible shot after the other, finishing the half with 12 for 14 shooting. In the second half, as soon as the Celtics made some kind of run, LeBron was there to bail the Heat out. The King finished with 45 points, 15 rebounds, and 5 assists on 73% shooting.
Well, I just go out and just do what I've been taught, and that's to play at a high level and have fun with it. I won't regret anything. If I know I played hard and I gave it my all, I won't regret anything, no matter the outcome. That's where I've been this whole season.
Miami won the next 4 games, and James was finally a champion and the Finals MVP.
I've dreamed about this moment. I was like, oh my God, I don't want to be nowhere else right now. I felt like I was in that arena by myself. At that point when I grabbed the trophy, I felt like everything else around me was just empty.
In 2013, the Heat doubled down on shooting and small ball, adding Rashard Lewis and Ray Allen. Miami was now a well-oiled machine, and we could see how their newfound chemistry impacted the game. LeBron played the best basketball of his career, dominating on both ends of the court, unlike anybody we've ever seen before. Wilt, Kareem, Hakeem, Robinson, Jordan, and Kobe were the only players in NBA history before LeBron who were among the top 3 players in the NBA on offense and defense. James was 1 vote shy from being the first unanimous MVP in NBA history, because one reporter from Boston gave his first place to Carmelo Anthony, citing that he knew that LeBron would win the award and that he wanted to honor Anani's season, which was complete nonsense. They played against one of the best teams of all time, with 4 future Hall of Famers in Duncan, Parker, Ginobili, and Kawhi. James was clearly the best player in the series, but due to Kawhi's defense and the Spurs' depth, it seemed like he was overmatched and that San Antonio would prevail. After 5 games, the Spurs had a 3-2 lead and a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter, but LeBron then turned on the God mode, scoring 16 points in the fourth to give Miami a chance for a comeback. Even though they were on the brink of elimination, James crowned the best season of his career with a championship, playing perfect basketball when it counted the most. But coming into the next season, it was clear that Miami was deteriorating. James shot 56.7% from the field, a new career high, and was widely regarded as the best player in the NBA, even though the MVP award finally went to Kevin Durant, who averaged 32 points per game.
That's a 3. Make somebody else beat you. 3 on the way. He got it!
And Miami lost just 3 games on their way to another NBA Finals. However, this time the Spurs improved from the previous season while Miami regressed. LeBron was able to win 1 game on his own, but that was all he could do against a much better team. Miami's trapping defense was shredded to pieces with San Antonio's one-touch passes, constant movement, and a barrage of 3-point shooting.
When LeBron left Cleveland, he did it because he didn't have enough help from his teammates and had to do everything to be even close to winning. And 4 years later, the same scenario repeated with Miami. Because of Wade and Bosh's decline, the aging Ray Allen and Shane Battier, and the infamous cookie scandal with Pat Riley, LeBron switched teams again, making his homecoming return to Cleveland. In the next 4 seasons, LeBron made 4 NBA Finals, finally bringing Cleveland to championship in 2016. That second stint in Cleveland marked the offensive prime of LeBron's career, where his basketball supercompute was able to completely control the entire game, dissect opponents' weaknesses, and navigate his teammates where to stand on both offense and defense. However, it was those last 3 years in Miami where LeBron was in his absolute prime. His mind and body reached a pinnacle of basketball that hadn't been reached by anybody else before or since. As we have never seen a 280-pound, 6'9" human move that fast, guard 1 through 5 for a full 48 minutes, manage the entire game, and shoot so efficiently all at the same time. It was like somebody combined Larry Bird's shooting, Magic's passing, Scottie Pippen's defensive versatility, Karl Malone's size, and Jordan's athleticism in one player. If the three-point revolution happened sooner, the Heat-era LeBron would be even more dominant with more spacing, and his numbers would be even greater.